I've prepped this hide glue, just a little bit, some water. It's still fairly dry, but should be fine. And then I have this baby food warming device. You can also use a wax heater or some other kind of water warming implement. And I'll put that on the shelf and let it heat up. Next I will I've already marked the legs where I want to put them, but I haven't marked any of the wedge slots, so this will be the next step then. Orientation of the legs should be the growth rings perpendicular to the grain. Little gentle on the tapping, because depending on how you form these, if they're tapered you can run a risk of splitting the seed. So next one. It's a bit tight, but not too bad. They're not quite seated yet, but should be fine. Gotta mark the wedge slots. So center. The wedges are supposed to split or push against the end grain, so as to not split the seed along the grain. Something like this. I have to remove them now, and we'll be back for sewing. Sometimes you have to pay attention not to follow the grain with the sewing if it's running out a little. Don't think it's a big deal, but something to be aware of. Don't sew too deep if you don't want the saw curve to show on the underside later. Again, not a big problem usually. A few people look at the underside of stools and chairs, but some people do. next I have to cut the wedges, which I forgot to do before. Oftentimes I'm just sawing the wedges, but I've got this nice cleaver-like splitting knife that I wanted to try. And yeah, there's some oak, some ash, another piece of oak. Just see how it goes with the splitting. Yeah, maybe I should remove that. Another wedge. Watch your fingers. Yeah, this won't work. I might be able to get a wedge out of this one. This one should split. So next try. It should maybe clamp that in the vise, but yeah, I think I should before I hurt myself. This will probably not be a wedge. This one might. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little bit slim pickings. Yeah, but I'll use these. You should have 1 or 2 extra usually. So the wedges, you can try to plane them if you manage to hold them somehow, but otherwise using a chisel to clean it up a little from splitting. Yeah, this is not a good setup here. Let's try this. So one side fairly flat, and the other side, and getting the taper that you want. Yeah, about 1 millimeter, 32nd. sometimes do is to create a slight edge there. And I still have to keep in mind that I need to get this down to 25 millimeters or an inch, and I want to follow the, yeah, this is not a good idea. I need a different setup for this, but I want to follow the grain here a little. And I may use the plane to straighten that. And then it's 1 inch. Testing here. Oh, I forgot which ones were the smaller ones. I think these. And this is close, but just a little bit less. A little more to remove. Yeah. Let me show you. So, like this, or this is fine. And 3 more to go. This one's a bit chunky. Let's see how it goes. It's a fairly dry ash. It's a piece of an old table, actually. Cuts nicely though. So take the end down to the approximate thickness that I like. Clean up the taper there. A little bit more. Package. So got it down to a millimeter, and trying to straighten it. Watch your fingers with this. let's close a little bit, and again some lead in here. And I also sometimes cut the edges. That can help. I should try to have this at a right angle. This is not what I wanted to get, like so, without breaking this edge, if possible. Yeah, so like this. And I'll do another two. So now I'm on a timer. Glue is hot, but I don't want it to set. So glue on the tenon. On the mortise hole. Work fairly quickly with the high glue. Next, BBB. Tap. Since I've clamped it in the vise, I hope to prevent splitting even better. I didn't tap it very hard, so not much risk of that, but doesn't hurt to constrain the width of the board. Now for the wedges. I'm gonna go on the floor over that. Only putting glue on one side of the wedge. So if the leg shrinks, dries and shrinks, it will separate on the not glue line. Instead of around the tenon. Yeah, so these are not very straight, but better next time. use the warm water from the glue pot to and added a little bit cold water to some medium warm water, and I'm gonna clean up the glue from the other side. So if I wanted to be thorough, I would grab a piece of cloth and clean it a little more, but for now that's good enough. Now we could wait until the glue is dry, but we can just as well cut off the tenons. If you want to prevent the seat from being scratched by the edges of the teeth, and you don't have a flush cut saw, what I sometimes do is I take a ruler and use it to stay above the surface a little. Like so. I don't want the saw to get too much of the glue, as it does gum up a little. Before I go to the plane, I could just plane that, but sometimes it's nice to just score around it with a chisel to prevent some breakdown. That one's left a bit more, so I need to take a few cuts. Didn't pay attention there, but I will clean that up anyway. Plane needs sharpen. Right, so after sharpening, I can go back to planing. I can tell by the figure here that there's a sort of a dip here. Is it a dip? Oh. Yeah, it is. And so I can plane from the middle toward each end. If I want, I can redo the round over a little bit, but yeah, I could just get a little bit of sandpaper as well. And I want to a nice clean transition there.